Well, welcome back to the channel. Today's video I was going to kind of do a year in review. I wanted to just kind of give a brief overview of how the year went. And at the end of my little talk here, I thought I'd throw in a bunch of clips from throughout the year of me being in the fields working. So hopefully they don't get too long and become too boring for you, but I just thought I'd throw in some of that stuff, and it'd kind of be a year in review, as they call it. To start out with, I wanted to talk about rainfall. For the first time, I think, I don't know if I ever done this before, but I kind of kept track of the rainfall tallies through the entire season here. I've always had a rain gauge out, and I always see how much rain we have, but I never really wrote it down or kept track of it. But this year I thought, oh, I will write it down and kind of keep a tally of things. So I put the rain gauge out about the middle of April. Before that, I think we still had some threats of possible freezing and stuff, and I didn't want that to happen. But for the month of April, now this is basically from about the middle on, about the 17th, I think is when I put it out, till the end of April, we only had 1/10 of an inch of rain. So things were starting to dry out there towards the end of April, and allowed us to get in the field a little bit earlier. In May, I had 3.5 inches for the entire month. In June, we only had 1.2 inches, and we were getting to a point there in June where it was getting a little crucial. I kind of had in my mind that if we go a few more days or another week with this dry weather, we're going to be in trouble. But we did get a little bit of a relief. In July, we had 2.8 inches. And again, 2.8 might sound like a lot, but in June and July, when you got the crops really growing good, we need quite a bit of moisture. And I know I can remember there was a part there, I think probably towards the end of July, we were starting to get towards that dry side again, where I was starting to get a little worried. But August made up for it. In August, and I'm surprised at this, I didn't tally it up before until today, but I was surprised. We got 6.3 inches in the month of August. Now, a couple of those were heavy downpours. We got 2 inches, I think, each time on those big ones. So how much did we actually get of that, that didn't run off? I don't know. But we were extremely dry, going up to that point that trust me, you didn't know in August that you had 6.3 inches. The ground was not wet at all. And in September, we had 2.4 inches. Now, I didn't write down October's. I mean, I have it, but I didn't tally it up. But I just wanted to kind of do the growing season there. So that's how the rainfall went this year. As far as just an overall how the crop season went, it went pretty well. I can't complain about it at all. Like I said, we started to dry up there towards the end of April, and for the first time in, man, many years, I was able to start planting the 1st of May. Usually, I'd say the last 6-8 plus years, it's been the middle of May or the end of May before I can even get in the fields to do anything. So we were fortunate enough we were able to get in. I got part of the corn planted there the 1st of May. Then we did get some rain a couple days, probably about 3-4 days into planting. And we had to shut down there for close to 3 weeks. We just kept getting a little bit of rain, and we just about get to the point where it was going to be dry enough, and we had another day or two, and then it would rain again. So we kind of had to sit there for about close to 3 weeks. Then we got back in there by around the 20th of May and was able to finish the corn, and we went right on into the beans and was able to get the beans in. I think everything got in by the 1st of June. Maybe the last day of May, I'm not sure, but we were able to get done at a pretty decent time. All the crops got up decent. Didn't really have any issues with germination. Good stand. I had one field of soybeans that I finished planting in the rain. I had to do about 2 rounds and do the headlands in the rain. And that particular field got a crust on it. That rain that we got when I was finished planting, then we went obviously to some heat and sun, and it put a crust on that field. And I had a little bit of issues with the germination there. Not bad. I was a little worried. I was starting to think about whether I needed to go in and do something like rotary hoe it or something, but they were calling for rain the next day, so I waited. We did get the rain. We got a couple tenths. It did allow a lot more to germinate, or I shouldn't say germinate, to pop through the ground, but it still wasn't a great stand, not like all the other fields, but it wasn't bad enough that I A, needed to replant, or B, try to go in there and do some type of using the rotary hoe, because I would have probably done more damage than good. So I kind of let that field go as is. We had a few spots that had some gaps. You'd be going along and have solid beans, and then we'd have a foot or two of no beans, and it would just kind of spread out through the entire field. But it filled in nice, didn't have any weed issues, and the field actually I believe went over 50 bushel the acre, so I can't complain about it. But like I said, we didn't have any other issues with stand. I kind of gave you the rainfall and how it went through the summer there. There was a few times there we were a little worried that it was gonna possibly cause some issues, but Mother Nature came through, and we were able to come out with a decent crop. In the end, the yields were good. I don't think I had a field of beans go under 50 bushel, and I don't think I had a field of corn go under 175 bushels. So I'm tickled to death with that. I don't count on that every year, but based off how the year was looking at first, I didn't know what we were going to end up with, but I will take that every day, every year, I should say, if we can get those kind of yields. So the only disappointing thing I'd say this year was the grain prices. Corn, I didn't get an average, or I should say I haven't calculated the average what I got, but it probably averaged around 350. I know when I was hauling in, some of it was under 350, and I know some of it was over 350. So I'd say in the end, we probably averaged about 350 on corn. And soybeans, I'm gonna say somewhere in the 920, something like that. Again, as I was hauling in, it was a little higher. Sometimes it was a little lower. So yeah, that was the biggest disappointment right now is the grain prices, and hopefully next year those will be a lot better. I can say, and I think anybody that is watching here that farms can agree, that if that doesn't change, there's going to be some farms probably hurting pretty bad next year. If I would have had average or below average yields this year, I could say I probably could be in a situation I don't want to be in. So the yields is what saved me, and I'm sure it may have saved some of the other guys that are farming, but we can't keep this kind of pricing up, or it's going to eventually catch up to a lot of farmers. So anyhow, that was, I don't know if you call it quick, but I just wanted to kind of give you a brief overview of how the year went. Like I said, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna add on some clips of the entire year of us being in the fields. So with that, we hope that 2025 is an even better year, and let's move on to the videos. All right, well, I think we got enough air out of her now. Get her hooked up, get it flowing, and I'll put air in that other tire and get it pumped up where it needs to be. And then we'll have one tire taken care of. All right, I think I've come up with a game plan for this mounting these lights. So I gotta still have this bracket. It's because it brings it out away from the cab so the lights don't hit. And that bracket is not wide enough for the light to mount in there. So I've kind of come up with a way to mount them. It's not the most efficient or best thing. Some of you might think it's cheap, but I actually did it on, I did it on this other tractor back several years ago when I did it. But basically I fabricated my own holder that mounts right back onto those original light holders. Here we are. Hold on here. 4 lights, 2 in the front. Oh, I gotta turn the back 2 on. Two on the back. Okay. Well, we got the seed back now. Got it pulled back in the shed and out of the weather, where we can get to it when we're ready to go. So I guess I could just briefly go over the seed here quick. All right, well, welcome back to the channel. As you can see here, I got the tractor sitting here warming up. I got a spreader hooked up. Still about the end of April here. Things are starting to dry out, but I don't know, I'm just a little leery about getting going on planting. The ground temperature is not there. Someone told me it's still in the mid-40s. planting. I just did the headlands quick. I know I should have probably taped it, but videoed it, whatever you want to call it, but I wanted to get started. Things have not gone well, which normally doesn't when you're first trying to get started. You get all the bugs worked out. So I just wanted to get that headland planted quick and make sure everything's working right. Check my depth. My depth's okay. I got it set at about 1.5 inches. One of the problems I got going on right now is this is my monitor. 2 of these lights are not going out. Now it's planting, but I must have a problem with my electric system back here. I don't know. I checked it the other day. I dropped it in the ground and planted about 30 feet and all the lights went out. But today 2 of them are staying on, but it's planting for now. So I'm gonna keep going just to try to get something done. moving along here now. We got, I think everything's set the way we want it. I had to adjust the depth a little bit. planting a little bit deeper, I'd like to see it. So I shallowed it up just a little bit. Everything seems to be working so far. You know, when you get out here the first day, you got some gremlins sometimes to work out of equipment. But I think we're doing all right so far. Seems to be planting all right. Finally got the right wrench. Oh, leaking fuel. I have to keep track of. Okay, there's a washer. There was a washer. Okay. Again, got to keep track of washers. Stay on there. Put you back in there for the time being. Okay. Or not. Guess you thread right there. I thought you did. She's pretty dry on it. Yeah, it was leaking right up here around where they crimped this. And I guess there's no splicing them from what they told me. You got to put a whole new line on. They are not cheap. only thing I do not know is if I'm going to have to bleed this. Come on. Got my glove stuck. Come on. Get my glove stuck. Come on. Okay. I can zip tie these up together. Okay. Now, I need to obviously start it, make sure we got no leaks, but I'm not going to
wonder if he made that one.
I don't know.
Because you'd think that it would be made a little easier to remove.
It just pops right off. shield on. I think it's a Zerk can you get.
Gray shirt.
Gives the hours on that. Yeah, it says every 50. Alright, we're just wrapping it up here. We're on the last pass, doing the headlands. We got another field. We can mark it down, put it in the books. Just so nice to get a lot of this chiseled in the fall. It just, I don't know, for me it does so much better when it sits all winter and freezes and thaws. It breaks a lot of that hardness up. So glad to get another field in the books, and I'm hoping to get some more done here. And I'll bring it back as I keep doing them. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.